Hey guys, what is up, and welcome back to another episode of Apollo Justice, Ace Attorney. In the last episode, we did a lot of cross-examination of Miroir, and I've basically figured out, not the whole case, but most of the case already. We found out that the murder actually happened not during the third set, but during the second set. And Miroir saw the whole thing when she was going through the air vents to go to the, the other, platform that she was supposed to be raised from. So, during her whole, disappearing act, that's when she saw the murder. Meaning that Daryan no longer has an alibi, and now we are going to be calling him up to the stand. I was about to say the stage. The stand. But yeah, let's go ahead and get going. July 10th, 1:40 p.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby, number 2.
Apollo, I can't believe it! It really happened during the second act? And right in the middle of Miroir's performance?
Why she was in that air vent? And that switch and the flaming guitar. When you link it all together, that's what you end up with. Hey!
Ah, Daddy!
Mr. Wright! You believed in me? Not really. Huh? I just thought I'd make a cooler entrance than say, hiya. Why do I even bother hoping?
Where have you been lately, Daddy? You haven't been coming to the office at all.
Sorry about that, Trucy. I'm on a secret mission.
Secret? You mean like you're undercover?
Like Mr. Latouche, only shorter and not as well dressed.
Oh no! What if you're shot too, Daddy?
Would I do a thing like that to you? Anyway, I'm off for a while again. Huh? You're leaving? Oh, one thing before I go. What? Good luck. Right. Is that all you came to say? I think you have things pretty much under control. You'll get Machito Bae off the hook, no doubt. Yeah, but you're after that detective, aren't you? Daryan Crescent. It won't be easy proving he did it. Especially not under the current court system. The current court system? What did Prosecutor Gavin say during the trial? Your case is based on one fragile assumption, namely that our diva divine is telling the truth.
But what about all the proof? The brooch and the switch?
A piece of jewelry and a lyrical blunder. There are plenty of other ways to explain these things. The flaming guitar, too. All because you lack definitive proof of their connection to the case.
But
if the sultry songstress is lying, your case melts like butter in a frying pan, leaving behind the faintly singed scent of failure. So what do I do? Like I said, good luck. And be aware that it'll be impossible to prove his guilt by conventional methods. Ugh. Oh, that reminds me. I have something to give you from our detective friend. Detective Sky. Emma? Let's see. This bag of snacks here was meant for me. Here it is.
What are those, Daddy? They don't look like very good snacking material.
They were found at the scene. Analysis of the fragments revealed traces of gunpowder.
Gunpowder?
Probably a firecracker or something similar, like the ones kids are into these days. These fragments were found under the sofa at the scene of the crime, actually. Under the sofa?
Hey, Apollo! That's where we found that little device thingy!
Right, this. Well, finally, some evidence that makes sense. Burnt fragments? That's all for me, I suppose. See you after the verdict. Maybe. Right. Every man has an igniter inside him. Excuse me? Find Daryan Crescent's igniter and set it off. And he walked out the door, just like a magician. Normally.
What does he want us to do? No conventional methods? What does that mean?
I guess we just have to take his advice and hope it makes sense when the time comes.
I guess.
We're almost at the finish line. Hang in there, Trucy. And me. July 10th, 1:55 p.m., District Court, Courtroom number 3. Court is now back in session. Prosecutor Gavin, where is Detective Crescent? In the witness lounge, ready to be called at any time. Very well. Might I add, I don't believe any of this. He Daryan was the first detective I've ever worked with. We stopped working together when he moved to Criminal Affairs Division 3. But his guitar playing, it fires my imagination. That's nice, but it has nothing to do with the matter at hand. Correct? Oh, I know. Herr Forehead? Very well. Call the final witness to the stand. Detective Daryan Crescent. Name and occupation, please. Daryan Crescent, Detective, Criminal Affairs Division 3. That's the International Affairs Division for those of you who didn't know. And I'm a guitarist for the Gaviners. Maybe you heard of us? Do you fully understand the circumstances under which you stand before us today? Yeah, I understand, Your Honor. What I don't understand is how you let this happen, partner. You gave me your word I wouldn't be standing here. The situation's changed, Daryan. And don't call me partner. So much for old friends. I see what you're doing, Daryan. You're pressing the prosecution. Your Honor, if we could begin the trial? Yes, it's high time we did. Let's hear your testimony. You may begin with your response to Lemiroir's testimony. If in fact you have anything to say about it. Oh, I got plenty to say. Lying must be a national pastime in Warginia. And wherever you're from, Mr. Justice. Ha! Conventional methods are out of the window, huh? Here goes nothing. What the heck does that I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Maybe it's the bracelet. The diva's lying, plain and simple. She's got nothing to back up her story. In the first place, she never heard my voice. She forgot the words because she heard gunshots? As if. Didn't Detective Emma Skye hear those gunshots during the third set anyway? The shooting took place when I was on stage, man. So you claim Lemiroir's testimony was a lie. Hey, don't get me wrong, I dig what she's doing, trying to protect that kid. And she's got the coordinated and vague statements out of her hand just because she's blind. You go too far, Daryan. Look, all I'm saying is, you got a reliable witness. Why not listen to the detective? Detective Skye? I see. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. He didn't waste any time finding our weak spot. I can't do this with Lemiroir's testimony alone. I'll have to find some other way to prove when the shooting took place. God. No bracelet, no bracelet. Okay. I think I'm just gonna press. Let's see where that takes us. You don't have any proof she was lying. Oh yeah, kid? You saying I lied? No, I'm just saying,
Apollo, glare back at him!
I couldn't help it. I flinched by reflex. Detective Crescent! Yeah? What do you want? Nothing.
Apollo, chin up! Backstreet, you're wilting!
This guy's hard as nails. He makes Walkie look down like cooperative. Look, there's no way the diva remembers my voice. You never talked to her even though you were playing in the same concert? Not a word, as far as I can recall. But weren't there planning sessions or something? Gavin took care of all that himself. Daryan wasn't involved in any of the meetings with her. Ugh. As if you can just go around remembering everyone's voice like that anyway. Only an idiot would ever believe that. Lemiroir's hearing is very sensitive. She could remember him if she heard him, I'm sure of it. I just can't prove it. And I need proof. We know she missed the words. The mixing board proved it. Oh yeah, there was a mistake, but blaming it on gunshots is just a lame excuse. What do you mean? The mixing board proves what? It proves there was a mistake in the song, a missed cue. So, she just flubbed it up, big time, that's all. She spins this story about a gunshot to protect the kid, and cover for her own goof. Man, I'd have to hand it to her if she wasn't sticking it to me at the same time. Daryan, watch what you say. Lemiroir is an artist. She just flubbed it up? That's no small accusation for a performer of her caliber. She got to you alright, I can see it in your eyes. I tell you, most of her stuff is so pretentious, it's way over my head. I'm detecting a riff in the Gaviner's ranks. Anyway, she's too close to the defendant. Her testimony can't be trusted. You ask me, I go with Detective Skye's story at the drop of a pick. Actually, I was there too. So I hear. Which means you heard them too, right? The gunshots. Yes. We heard gunshots. Neither I nor Emma actually saw the shooting, mind you. Huh. I guess you and Lemiroir got the same excuse then. We know one thing for certain here. There were gunshot-like sounds that emanated from that room during the third set. What we must determine is whether those sounds were actually gunshots.
Machi heard them too. Remember, he said he ran for the air duct when he heard them?
So, how do we figure out just what those gunshots during the third set were? That could have been what the shooter wanted us to think. I'll tell you what the shooter, that kid, wants you to think. He wants you to think the diva heard me in that room. I'm back to relying on Remioar's testimony. As much as I'm enjoying the Daryan and Forehead show, there is no need for such tempers. Don't make us into some comedy duo! This mean the Gavin and Daryan show's cancelled? Neither of your claims can be proven, nor disproved. We could argue for days like this and get nowhere. Prosecutor Gavin is quite right. This court will hear no further discussion on this topic without new facts. New facts, huh?
He's pretty eager to paint Lemiroir as a liar, isn't he?
Yeah, because her testimony is basically our entire case.
This is tough. So what do we do?
I've got a few ideas. I just need to find another way to prove it didn't happen when he says it did. What could be the other sounds? Oh, wait. Some things were found at the crime scene after yesterday's trial. What things? The first was this small device. That's the remote triggered igniter. Correct. And one more thing. What are those? The remains of something burnt? Not another guitar, I hope. Traces of gunpowder were found on these fragments. We have a report that it was something like a firecracker. Huh? How did Gavin know about this? What, you think Detective Sky works for you? I received the reports this morning before coming here. That's when I made my decision, actually. What decision is this, Prosecutor Gavin? I registered Daryan as a witness in today's trial, just in case. This raises another possibility. Those gunshot-like sounds during the third set could have been two firecrackers rigged to go off by remote control. You got an active imagination, don't you? But you shouldn't say every little thing you think. Your explanation there seems a bit too convenient to me. How so? So, you're saying these firecrackers just happened to go off, right when two witnesses came walking by? Ha!
That's right! Daryan was out on stage when it happened, Apollo. How would he know someone was backstage right then?
If a firecracker goes off in the forest and there's no one there to hear, you get my drift? Why go through the trouble, man? Ugh! How do I explain this? He may not look it, but Daryan is a gifted detective. Show any weakness, and he's sure to find it. He may not look it, partner? Gee, thanks, man. That reminds me. I happened to pass through this very hallway several times that day myself, and I saw something odd there just before the third set. Third set? I don't know how to speak German, whatever. Speak in a German accent. Something odd? A headset. The kind all staff and the band... the kind all of the band and staff members were wearing. That's right! We picked this up in front of the door to that dressing room. What if that headset wasn't dropped, but placed? And what if it was turned on? You could hear what was going on in the hallway, even if you were out on stage! Huh. Whose side are you on, Gavin? Listen to me, Daryan. There are no sides in a court of law. Which is why I must now turn to you, Head Forehead. I have a question for you. Huh? For me? The igniter and the burnt fragments that were found at the scene of the crime. It's certainly a possibility that they were part of a ruse to fake the sound of gunshots. Throw the headsets from the hallway into the mix and you could fabricate an alibi. But we're still no closer to proving anything. Those gunshots might have been real or fake. We can't say. Ugh. You've raised the possibility that the shots heard during the third set were faked. Now you need to prove the other half is the case. The other half? Look, I'll just tell him. He wants you to prove the thing went down in the second act, while our little piano player was on stage. That right, Gavin? Indeed. If you can't prove that, then to continue this cross-examination would be pointless. Well, Mr. Justice, can you prove the crime took place during the second set? Yeah, I think.
You better know, Apollo, otherwise we're through.
It can't be proven. You make it sound like someone else is going to come along and do it for you. Let's continue with the cross-examination then, shall we? Witness your testimony if you would. This isn't gonna be easy. I need some decisive proof, and fast. You ready, kid? 'Cause I am. Shooting took place during the... Oh, God. Proof. Proof. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. I don't know. It seems there was clear proof left behind. Right here in Lemiroir's song. Her song? What exactly is this, device thingy? A new variety of gramophone, perhaps? Come on, we just used this, and don't get me started on gramophone. This device was used to record the performance part by part. You move the sliders to adjust the volume. Each instrument is adjustable separately, Lemiroir's voice included. Oh-ho! But what does this prove? According to Lemiroir's testimony, at the moment of the shooting, she forgot the words to the song. Ah, you intend to examine the recording at that moment, yeah? We might even hear those gunshots. Exactly. Ha! Ridiculous. How are you supposed to hear gunshots back in that dressing room out on stage? Have you forgotten, Daryan? We were all wearing these headsets. Oh. We were all deeply involved in our performance, but Lemiroir's headset would have picked up what she heard all the same. Then let's get to analyzing the recording, right now! Lemiroir stopped singing when she heard the shots fired. Find that spot, and I'll find the gunshots. Alright, here we go. Can I... You're kidding. It's just right there. Girl. Your Honor, listen closely to this part. This is the track with Lemiroir's vocals. It's literally right there. In plain sight. Or plain... It's so obvious. I thought I would have to listen real closely for that one. That was faintly, it was so obvious. What? This has to be some kind of mistake. I believe a case has been made. Gunshots were heard during the second set, which means Lemiroir's testimony was true. Ugh! Order! So, she was telling the truth about what she heard.
It was the other man speaking, not Mr. Latouche.
Well, what did he say?
It's over. Press the switch. Now!
Just after that, there was a gunshot, and then the guitar caught on fire. Detective Crescent, you weren't on the stage during the second set. You could have done it. But why do we only hear one gunshot in the recording? Weren't 2 bullets fired from this weapon? Le Miroir was moving through the air vent, Your Honor. She must not have been close enough for her mic to catch the first shot. But then, as she passed over the dressing room, the gun fired again, and Mr. Latouche's life was taken. Well, Detective Crescent? Once again, I am reminds us of something. Our performance that day. Your performance? Seeing the mixing board jogged my memory. You was there too, Forehead. What is it with today? Problem after problem. Achtung! My heart won't start, my guitar case is busted, my guitar has been burnt to a crisp, and to top it all off, someone's dead. And then there was that performance just now. What was that all about? This part is off. Which is that? Second guitar. It was you, Daryan! I thought it strange at the time. How could you miss such a simple cue? I know you. I know how you play. You're better than that. Yeah, well, You what? And Prosecutor Gavin, what are you getting at? I'm talking about the murder weapon, Mr. Latouche's 45 caliber hand cannon. As we have learned, even the shooter doesn't go unscarred with a revolver that size. The kickback is enough to dislocate your shoulder, if you're an amateur. Wait, you mean his playing was affected because he hurt himself shooting that revolver? Ha! You're forgetting something. Yes, Detective Crescent? I am a trained police officer, you know. I've had firearms training. Plenty of it. I'm no amateur. The standard sidearm issued to a police officer is a 38 caliber weapon. A much tamer beast. Also, the murder weapon belonged to the victim, Mr. Latouche, which suggests there was a struggle between killer and victim. So, the killer might not have been holding the revolver correctly when he fired. Is that what you mean? The thought has occurred to me, yes. Well, does the witness have anything to say to this? Detective Crescent! What I want to ask is what Mr. Sleeves rolled up ready for action has to say. And you, attorney. Me? Exactly which piece of your evidence is decisive again? You got a little noise on the tape, that could be anything. And you have an alleged guitar cue missed due to a 45 caliber kickback? I weep for this case, Gavin. I really do. You can line up your little weak pieces of evidence all you want. I didn't shoot that manager. And that's the obvious truth. The witness has a point. The defense's arguments, while persuasive, are not decisive. I believe we should hear what the witness has to say in response to the case so far. Your testimony, please, Detective Crescent. Tell us your reasons why you couldn't have done it. Come on, why would I even want to kill that manager? You want a reason? Easy. I got no motive, man. This was that diva's first trip to the country, right? How could I possibly know her manager? If I didn't know him, why would I want to kill him? He's Interpol, dumbbutt. A simple reason indeed. Prosecutor Gavin, is it the case that Mr. Latouche had not been to our country before? According to our records, yes, not even once. I see. Very well. Mr. Justice, you may begin the cross-examination. Great, now I need to find a motive. Am I mistaken in believing that Daryan has something to do with Interpol? Or am I dumb just because he just found out that Latouche was part of Interpol? That I'm deluding myself into believing that Daryan is not part of Interpol, but is associated with Interpol. I don't know. Whatever. One reason easy, I got no motive. So you didn't fraternize with him at all during the concert. Fraternize? Ha! I don't think we exchanged a single word. As if anyone would want to talk to that old Eastern blockhead. Now the ladies, that's a different matter altogether. So you see? Ah, crap. So he's using his motive as ammunition, huh? Well, I got ammunition too. Evidence. You sure about that? What? What? Wipe that look off your face before I do it for you! Listen, you try throwing out one of your wild accusations, I'll throw it back at you so hard you'll forget what you're accusing. You'll forget who you're accusing of what. Head for head, perhaps it's best if you let your evidence do the talking, yeah? Man, what evidence? That's what I want to know. So he's just using this motive question as ammunition, huh? Well, I've got ammunition too. Evidence. I've already read that part. Frick. I don't know. We're gonna do something. There we go. Your Honor, take a look at this. What's that? Looks like candy. It's not. Don't lick it, please. Detective Crescent, ever seen this? Looks like a piece of candy. What it is evidence. Don't lick it before you try it. Specifically, this is a replica of a cocoon. It was found among the victim's belongings. A cocoon? Never seen one that color. It is a variety only found in the Republic of Bulgaria. Nowhere else. Alright, but what is this cocoon replica doing in my courtroom? Surely this has nothing to do with the motive for killing Mr. Ladouce. Does it? It does. Wait, I think it does. You don't sound so confident, man. A cocoon? Is it one of those silky cocoons? The kind that you can make, well, the silk out of? Not this one. This cocoon makes a powerful curative. A curative? For what? Apparently, it is most efficacious at treating a disease thought incurable. It is the only medicine of its kind. However, it is illegal to take one of these healing cocoons out of Bulgaria. What for? If it's such a miracle cure, why not share it with the world?
Yeah, that's what I've been wondering.
We looked into the matter at some length. Apparently, it isn't difficult at all to manufacture the remedy from the cocoon. Yet if you change the process only slightly, you can easily make a large quantity of something else entirely. A deadly poison, in fact. What? There was an incident several years ago where some of these got out into the black market. It caused quite the commotion in the global community, so the media was kept largely unaware. Intriguing. All this has led to a strict ban on the cocoon's export, one rigidly enforced by Interpol, among others. Interpol? Right! The victim, Romain Latouche, was an Interpol agent. Detective Crescent, you insist on referring to him as a manager. But that is misleading. Romain Latouche wasn't killed as a manager. He was killed as an undercover agent. So I was trying to smuggle this gumball into the country? That what you're trying to say? I'm saying that could be a motive for murder. Oh, so I was gonna sell it on the black market, make myself a pretty penny. Ridiculous. I mean, totally unthinkable. Unthinkable, you say? Why? Perhaps it's time for another testimony about this smuggling of cocoons business. International Affairs got a memo about these cocoons. Interpol's all hot and bothered about them. Can't sell them on the black market. Too dangerous. Yeah, cocoon smuggling ain't exactly lucrative anymore. Man, I'm in international affairs. I know the deal. Indeed. Interpol one of these cocoons bad enough to send Mr. Latouche undercover. You kids think up the craziest things, but no way am I gonna risk life and limb just to get my hands on some dirty cocoon money. Not the most noble of statements, but duly noted. According to reports, these cocoons top Interpol's list. Sending them to underground organization would be risky. Very well, you may begin the cross-examination. This is the only motive I've got. He was up to something, and I'm gonna find out what. Alright. National Fair's got a memo of ice cocoons. Dangerous? Yeah, Interpol find you, they arrest you on the spot. Or another marketeer might think you're a part of a sting and take you out himself. Times have changed. But wouldn't scarcity drive up prices? Yeah, and attention. Every gangster and his brother will want a piece of that action. They'd turn your forehead into Swiss cheese before you could say objection. Maybe we could get him to cut off his hair too.
Who's on trial here again?
Man, you so obviously know nothing about the market. And that's a bad thing? Don't even try to mess with me about this stuff. Which is why you know how to find a loophole in the system. Hey, you can say what you want about me, but back off of international affairs. There ain't no loopholes, okay? What do you think we are, Boy Scouts? That wasn't what I was trying to... Down, Daryan. It's as you say. There are no loopholes, at least in the case of these cocoons. International affairs, Interpol, and Burgundian Customs are all watching. See? We know what we're doing. Not like some yipping little doggies that lap up every word that diva says. Why, I oughta... Oughta what? You want some of this? Chill, both of you. Let's do this cool, yeah? Ugh, screw cool. I want this guy's head on a stick. The replica has to be the key to his motive. There's gotta be a way to find out what he was up to. Why not choose a less dangerous buyer then? I would. How clueless are you? Everyone in the market's dangerous. The second they found out I was a cop, I could kiss my keister goodbye. Why sell to a black market buyer? How about someone like this? That article! That's about the Chief Justice's... A deadly poison can be extracted from the cocoon, but so can a cure. And not a cure for just any disease. A cure for incuritis. Incuritis? I've heard of that somewhere. You went to visit a victim of the disease this morning. Oh! Why, that's the disease the Chief Justice's son has. You aren't saying... Our witness is a detective. He would have contact with the Chief Justice. You are saying... The Chief Justice would never deal in contraband. Not even to save his own son's life? But even if the deal went through, why, it'd be an international scandal. That's Detective Crescent's insurance. If word ever got out, the one with his neck on the line would be the Chief Justice. Detective Crescent, is this true? First I'm a murderer, now I'm a smuggler. How many crimes are you trying to pin on me anyway? Distasteful as it is to think about, if the Chief Justice were the buyer, why, a seller couldn't hope for a better deal. A very cowardly seller. Don't let sleeves over there trick you. So I made a deal with the Chief Justice. Where's your proof? Well... Oh yeah, and you're forgetting one other important thing. Do tell. Interpol isn't the only ones out there watching this. Burgundian Customs barely sleeps. They're so worried about cocoons getting out. So we were informed. Let's continue with the cross-examination. Everything and everyone gets checked. I'm just stupid, I guess. Actually, there is one way. One way to get something out of the country, no checks. What is it? You become a prosecutor. A prosecutor? I don't believe it. Believe it, Prosecutor Gavin? What was it that you told me yesterday at your office? It was a beautiful instrument. It was played lovingly for many years. A guitar befitting a woman like Lamira Ward.
How did it end up here?
I mentioned how much I enjoyed playing it that night, and she made a present of it.
So this guitar is for Briginia?
That it is. We couldn't carry it on the plane. Changes in air pressure and humidity ruins the wood. So we vacuum packed it in Lamira Ward's studio. I used a special shipping service available to me for transporting evidence. They brought it right up to my office for me. Pristine and untouched. Did I get that right, Prosecutor Gavin? Untouched? Quite. The guitar was wrapped in several sheets and vacuum packed in Borginia. The pack was untouched until the day of the concert. Are you saying that guitar was... With cocoons this small, it would have been very easy to use your guitar as a mule to smuggle a cocoon out of Borginia. What? Which reminds me, Prosecutor Gavin, that guitar had some work done on it recently, right? Work? Good memory, Head Forehead. Well, you know how guitars have a round hole in the front? It is called the sound hole. Well, they found something attached to the wood just inside the hole. A broken device of some sort.
A broken device?
Yes, this in fact. An igniter! Exactly. Consider this if you will. What if that igniter wasn't the only thing attached inside your guitar?
You mean...
He means this, of course. Oh! There was a way to get a cocoon out of the country. They could use Piggy Prosecutor Gavin's privileged guitar as a mule. And who better to do that than someone with access? Like a member of the band. Yeah! His hair, dude. Order, order, order! Set the igniter! Was placed in there for a clear reason, it seems. It was a safety precaution. A precaution? Ah, Herr Forehead. At last, it all comes together. Every strange thing that happened that day. Care to review? Maestro, the gentle sounds of Lamira Ward's ballad, if you please. First, my keys were stolen, a harmless misdemeanor, which forced me to break the lock on my guitar case. The key was stolen to retrieve the cocoon from the guitar. I see. But things didn't go so well. The smuggler wasn't counting on the guitar being wrapped. Only a member of the band could get near that case. Unwrapping the guitar would raise too many suspicions. Then the concert began. Right about this time, a very large problem presented itself to the smuggler. What's that? Mr. Latouche. Oh! Mr. Latouche, an undercover agent, was onto something. He would have known about the guitar. He'd only have to check the shipping records. So, Mr. Latouche tried to examine the guitar himself. If the cocoon were confiscated then, the gig would be up. The only thing left for the smuggler to do was to get rid of the whole lot. It's over. Press the switch. Now! The guitar burst into flames, and the cocoon was lost. And then, Mr. Latouche died, with Lamira Ward there to witness it. There's your case. Brilliant, man. Detective Crescent? I gotta know, you make all that up on the fly? For a made-up story, it makes a great deal of sense, Daryan. The Republic of Briginia? Sorry, man, but I haven't even been there. True, you haven't. Ha! Let's see you make up a story for that, kid. How'd I hide the cocoon in the first place, huh? It's not so hard to imagine. You had help. A Briginian accomplice. That's all. That you had an accomplice was clear from the start. The voice Lamira Ward heard proves it. You made this transmission from backstage, but your co-conspirator was on stage. But who was it? This is it, the coup de grace. And for once I know what I'm doing. There's only one person who could have helped him. Let's hear what Mr. Just has to say then. But be warned, with a great accusation comes great responsibility. Make up your answer on the fly, as it were, and you'll be harshly penalized. Are you ready, Mr. Justice? Who was the smuggler's accomplice? And that is actually where we're going to stop for today. Rolly and Kurt, I'll see you guys next time for the finale of Turnabout Serenade. Let's go!
Objection! You haven't hit like and subscribe yet. Hold it! You forgot to ring the bell to get notified whenever I upload. Take that! Click here to watch more of my videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye!